god! Okay, so we were deliberating about this for like weeks, months actually, because this is the worst part of this fucking story, but I brought back the boys, Miles and Base Rant, so introduce yourselves again, gents.
Friends, I don't want to read this, but I will.
Yeah.
Hello, folks. I am Sonic Ranticoot, and I hate infinite anime and infinite anime accessories.
Don't we all? We've been sitting here for like weeks. Me and Miles actually tried to record for this, like by ourselves, because we had another friend of ours, but he wasn't able to because he sounded like he was dying. Miles just had like a meltdown and call. It was kind of hilarious, but also sad. So I was like, yeah, let's try something else.
I just really don't want to read it, bros.
I think we'll make it through it. We can't leave things unfinished, unfortunately. But we
how many more chapters of this shit?
Well, if we do 6 here, then the rest I could do another day. So we're almost at the end.
That's not bad.
It's not terrible. Bad. Somehow it's like near the end.
Did this actually end? Well, it does say status complete, but I have a feeling it doesn't actually end very well.
Oh boy, yeah, the ending is something else. I think Rant will understand something from the next chapter in this set. So I think the order is me and then Miles and then Rant, unless you two would rather switch.
I don't really care, but I mean, like most fanfic writers don't really think about endings.
That's
or
also
really how to
true.
how to get to the ending, probably more accurately, but
that's true.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in how Infinite Anime closes out his nonsensical circus of a trial.
Yeah, I'm not. I finished the entire Ace Attorney trilogy ever since the last episode, so I'm not looking forward to this as much as these two are either. So
I mean, I've only played the first one.
That's still more than this person has played.
Exactly.
So, well, I think that we should stop delaying the inevitable. I suppose I will start this off, sadly. Shibuya Crossroads. Note, from here onward, the chapters will more than likely be quite long. However, that may be a good thing. I'm very happy that I'm happy that their definition of long is like a fucking high school, not even high school, middle school essay. Like, imagine if these were like full-on actual chapters of a fucking book, dude. I would kill myself.
Well, we wouldn't be reading this, and you know what? I'm happy that can't happen because this was written, but I don't know how old Infinite Anime is.
Almost certainly in their mid-20s when they were writing this. I have literal.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck.
This person's in their 30s now.
You know, that's really scary, actually.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, well...
I was talking to Cross about this before you came in, and then I just thought, hey, maybe I shouldn't think about that.
Yeah. And what were you gonna say, Miles?
I don't remember what I was going to say, because it's not worth it. All I know is that Infinite Anime is in his 30s, and you know, that really puts things into perspective.
Yeah. It's like when you learn, like, Chris Chan's, like, gonna be 50 or whenever, but...
Yeah, or, like, Gargamon is almost 40, probably.
Oh my god!
Gosh.
I don't know if that's actually... But he's an old fuck, I know that.
That's
and
terrifying.
He's still... inflation fuck.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
I need to get my mind off of that. Let's,
Yeah, I'd rather read this shitty trial than that.
Chapter 39. Luna's Despair. Q. Trial. Apollo Justice. Ace Attorney. Good track. How dare they! How dare they accuse us of something we obviously did not do! Shouted Luna. Pain just grinned evilly again. That's exactly what all of the criminals say! Remarked Pain. We did not do this. We are not responsible for causing this incident, claimed Luna. Oh, really? Then you should have no problem coming forward and proving me wrong! Shaded Pain. And yes, Winston Pain, because fuck you. This just made Luna tense and sweat again. But, began Luna, but then, just do it, Luna, interrupted Celestia. Not you too, sister. We swear to not cause this incident, assured Luna. But then Celestia just glared at Luna, which only made her tenser and sweat even more. Fuck, son of a bitch. When she spoke up again. All right, fine, remarked Luna as she took a place that was between Apollo and Pain. Do I not just say she went up to the stand? I guess they don't have a stand, do they? Celestia came forward and stood next to Apollo, acting as his co-counsel, of course, for this particular testimony. She spoke to Apollo while still looking at Luna and Pain. Please, Apollo, there's no way that my sister would cause this incident. Please, you must prove she didn't do this, begged Celestia. Apollo responded while still looking at Pain and Luna as well. Don't worry, I already know she didn't do this. How the fuck? What? Aren't you supposed to gather evidence? I don't recall... Whatever. I assure you, I'll prove your sister's
ponies at this point.
Now, assured Apollo. Now, it began. Fucking put up cross-examination. State your name and occupation, commanded Pain, and I would do Winston Pain, but... State your name and occupation, commanded Pain. Princess Luna, co-princess of Equestria, ruler of night for all of Equestria, replied Luna. Good. Now tell us how you caused this incident, ordered Pain. Objection! Began Apollo, as he then shook his head. I'm sorry, Mr. Pain, but this is where I draw the line. All you did was accuse her. You have no actual proof that she caused this incident. Oh my god. Finally, things are getting interesting at least. Actually, I do have proof that she caused this incident, announced Pain. Everyone seemed shocked by this. Oh, and what would that be? Asked Apollo. Jealousy, of course. Jealousy of her sister. She gets all of the praise and attention, does she not? Well, that's why she caused this incident. She wanted attention and wanted to get back at her sister. Sibling rivalries are always so amusing, claimed Pain. Apollo had it. Luna, you deny Mr. Pain's claim, correct? Asked Apollo. Of course we do! I don't know why she keeps saying we. Like, does she mean like the royal we? Like, what? What is she, a hive mind?
I thought she was talking about her and her sister.
Oh, is she? Oh, well.
That's what made sense to me.
I'm just retarded then, maybe. I don't... Well...
Wouldn't be the royal we. I mean... Infinite Enemy is a good writer, so
yeah,
it can really go either way.
I can't call myself retarded over this person's writing. This writing is like melting my brain. Well, then give us testimony about how you couldn't have caused this incident. Do that, and I'll prove it," suggested Apollo. Very well, then," stated Luna. Here we go. Q. Moderato 2007 based. It happened last night while my sister was asleep and we were keeping guard over the night like always. All of a sudden, a bright light enveloped seemingly all of Equestria. It caught us by surprise. There was nothing we could do to stop it. We swear we didn't cause this. We've done bad things in the past and for that we are full of regret. But we are not like that anymore. We have changed for the better. Besides, what have we learned from being involved in this incident that we aren't truly at fault for what happened? This is the... Stated Luna. Objection. This is the most... Infinite Anime, you're something else.
What we have learned, what have we learned in this incident is that we are truly whatever.
This is one of the most pointless cross-examinations I've ever seen. This reaches the likes of She's Not a Ghost and Danganronpa. What the fuck?
That was worth your time.
That one, at
She's Not a Ghost was hilarious.
That one was funny at least, but oh my god. Objection.
I'm not familiar with that one. Was that in V3? Because I haven't played that
it was in one. You'll...
Yeah, that tells you how well I remember. I should play Danganronpa again at some point.
It'd be a better use of time than reading this garbage. Objection, began Pain. Likely story. Objection, began Apollo. If you allow me to cross-examine her, everything will become clear to you too, Mr. Pain. Fine. Be my guest. However, be aware if you fail to prove that you're selling the guest, then that be my... It does say be my guest! Oh no!
Retard.
Oh my god, it does say be my guest. I didn't even notice this fucking story.
I couldn't take my eyes off.
Now I won't be able to either. Oh my god. However, be aware if you fail to prove that she is telling the truth, then that means she did indeed cause this incident, warned Payne. Apollo nodded. I'm aware, don't worry, I'll prove it, assured Apollo as he crossed his arms and had a confident smirk on his face. Grunted Payne. It happened last night when my sister was asleep and we were keeping guard over the night like always, stated Luna. Hold it! Began Apollo as he was constantly in his thinking pose as he questioned Luna. It must be tough on you two and very tiresome to keep a constant watch on everything. Yes, it is. My sister and I are always very tired after a watch of day and night. Watched of day and night, okay. She sleeps at night and we sleep at day. She does refer to herself as we. Wait, hold on.
Hold on. Okay. No, you're not retarded. Okay.
I am not a schizo. I was correct. Well, huh? What? Imagine being so like self-centered that you refer to yourself as the royal.
I mean, she is basically like a god in a My Little Pony universe. She wants to refer to herself as the royal we. She can, but at the same time, she's also probably a schizo. So
yeah,
like,
she sounds like a schizo saying we, but whatever. It's always been that way, really, informed Luna. I see, remarked Apollo. Yeti! Began Payne. This is irrelevant. Continue, now, commanded Payne. Luna glared at Payne, but did so. All of a sudden, a bright light enveloped seemingly all of Equestria. It caught us by surprise. There was nothing we could do to stop it, stated Luna. Hold it! Began Apollo. You really couldn't stop it? We wish we could have, but unfortunately we couldn't. It happened too fast for us to do anything about it, answered Luna. Hey! Just like what happened to me! Added Naruto.
Naruto?
Yeah, he's in this.
Alright.
Break it up a little bit.
Fucking Naruto, thank you, God. Alright then, please continue, suggested Apollo. Luna nodded. We swear we didn't cause this. We've done bad things in the past, and for that we're full of regret, stated Luna. Hold it! Began Apollo. You're talking about the Nightmare Moon incident, correct? What the fuck? As Apollo showed the profile of Nightmare Moon he had made from the information he gathered from the ponies about her. What? Why?
What?
I like how all these characters, I guess, gave Apollo their entire backstories. What the fuck? Luna looked down.
How would he know this?
I guess the ponies told him is what the story is trying to suggest when he went around cross-examining all of them, and like I guess they gave him literally their entire story. What? Why? What the fuck?
I don't know. I that's what I'd like to know. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just like dumb.
It's a
whatever.
throwback to back in the days where to understand the entire story of a game, you would have to read the Japanese-only novel.
Thank you, man. That I understand. Luna looked down for a moment, slightly upset, but then looked up to respond. Had to burp for a second, excuse me. Yes, we still feel awful for this even now, despite the fact that it's in the past. It still haunts us to this day. We still feel very sorry for this, informed Luna. You sound very insincere, Luna. Shut the fuck up. Yeti, began Payne. Why, thank you. You've just proven that you have the capabilities to cause this incident. Nay! Well, you see. Fucking hell, began Luna. She continued her testimony. But we are not like that anymore. We have changed for the better. Hold it, began Apollo. From what I've understood, the other ponies have forgiven you and pretty much forgotten about it, correct? Luna smiled. Yes, they even do something to enjoy. They even seem to enjoy it when I gave them a good scare, all in good fun, of course. During the Nightmare Night Festival, I made so many new friends, too. They live in my head, so I'd never do something as foolish as betray that friendship, declared Luna. Maybe so, but you still did, accused Payne. Luna glared at Payne again. Just continued, if you would. Thank you for the suggested Apollo. Luna nodded again. I really do not like how they're handling pressing statements in this. Like, what the fuck? Like, Luna's literally...
To be fair, that's kind of how you
it's exactly... It is how it is in Ace Attorney, sure, but you don't need to press all the statements. I mean, I understand why you would.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
I get my flavor text, okay? Well, I don't know about you, but I press every statement.
It's fine to press every statement. However, in the context of the story...
When your writing is bad, no, I don't need them to press every statement.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's fine to press a statement in something that's well written because you want to see more of the good writing. But this is garbage. Do we really need to know everything that's being stressed about. I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of interesting to see it. Kind of like, I'll say this is garbage. Don't get me wrong, but seeing Ace Attorney trial without the visuals is really.
It's a whole other.
It kind of really makes you realize Ace Attorney's kind of autistic.
Yeah.
I already knew that.
Yep. Let me think. Oh yeah. Okay. Besides, what we have learned from being involved in this incident is that we're not truly at fault for what happened, stated Luna. Hold it, began Apollo. If you don't mind me asking, who do you think truly is responsible for what happened to you? Luna became slightly upset and lowered her head again, but then raised her head back up and answered. To be honest with you, we don't know, answered Luna. Which only means the one responsible is yourself, remarked Payne. This only made Luna glare at him again. I guess Luna doesn't know it herself. I guess I have to show it to her. I have to show it. What I'll have to show it her. Okay, Apollo. Thank you. I'm gonna fucking burn my copy of Apollo Justice that I don't own. Sense. Thought Apollo. Celestia was as serious as ever. What the fuck has Celestia done? There will be his supposed co-assistant. Like, what? She's just been standing here the whole time. Besides, what we have learned from being involved in this incident is that we're not truly at fault for what happened, stated Luna. Objection! Began Apollo as he presented the information he gathered on something called the Mist, which is what the Shadow Bolts are made of. Do you know what this is, Luna? The Mist! Gasped Luna. Igeti, began Payne. This is it. This is your proof. This is some sort of joke. Because if it is, I'm not laughing. Igeti! Began Apollo as she shook his head. I'm getting a fucking headache. I am completely...
Interesting plot twist, Mr. Anime.
Trans Apollo? Is she in? Queen? Could it be?
Stop talking.
It's just like fucking trans Scourge. That was amazing. Thank you, God. Let me see. I'm completely serious, Mr. Payne. Allow me to explain. Please do. Q. Objection. 2007. Ace Attorney. Apollo Justice. This is known as the Mist. It is basically a collaboration of all the negative and evil feelings and all the question, I guess you could call it. Whenever a pony releases a lot of emotional, negative, or depressing feelings in a large amount, the Mist is attracted to them. Unfortunately, Luna was full of all these feelings, informed Apollo. Objection, began Payne. Which is why Objection began Apollo. This fucking interruption began Apollo as an He didn't even say anything to be objection for. Like, what the fuck? As he interrupted him.
I'm really tired of Payne's ass. He probably does sound like Winston Payne in that universe.
Yeah.
He's really tired of him talking.
Yeah. It was like, which is why I'm just gonna...
I tell him to shut up.
Yeah, I'd tell him to shut the... If he did sound like Winston Payne, I'd tell him to shut the fuck up too. Let me see. Began Apollo as he interrupted him and shook his head again. When the Mist found the pony in question and saw it was Princess Luna, it had an opportunity, and it took advantage of that opportunity. The Mist converged on Luna, attacking her pretty much, and went inside her body, attempting to possess her, take her body, and use her powers for the Mist's own gain. Sure, Luna tried to fight it, and I'm sure she fought as hard as she could. However, her own feelings worked against her. It was too much for her. The Mist succeeded. Luna then transformed. She transformed into this. Apollo then, once again, presented Nightmare Moon's profile again. Take that! Began Apollo. Nightmare Moon. You say Nightmare Moon was Princess Luna. That's where you're sadly mistaken. Luna was still there, sure, but she was still imprisoned in her own body. How the fuck... like, you can't just be told about something and know about it in this extreme detail. Fuck off. Well, she was imprisoned in her own body, stuck in the darkness. Princess Celestia had no choice but to act and imprison Nightmare Moon and Luna into the moon. It's like Apollo Justice turned into a brony in this universe and, like, watch all the fucking episodes or something.
I just want to know when he had time to do all this. Did Apollo even appear in this story before now?
Yeah, he did. For
he was in a few chapters.
He was in a few chapters, but he didn't investigate like this, I don't think. This is still... Even if he did, he wouldn't have had enough time to get this level of, like, intimate information, could have he? I don't know. Like, I wouldn't...
So, I was trying to know. He has a lot of information. He's really trying to make this come off like an Ace Attorney game, but without actually knowing how an Ace Attorney game works.
Apollo just pulled up like a wiki page. Apollo really be like... No. Apollo really just pulled up a wiki page. He just like reads out, "Take that, began Apollo. Leo is my favorite Fire Emblem Fates character." Literally.
Oh my god. And the ass, boy.
Oh man. Okay. Unfortunately, Nightmare Moon escaped and kidnapped Princess Celestia for revenge. However, there was one thing she didn't count on: the elements of harmony being born in Twilight Sparkle and her friends. They defeated Nightmare Moon and saved Luna. However, the damage was already done. Luna's despair is great even now. I'm sure she still feels slightly responsible for what happened, but she overcame it. For you see, the mist has other pawns too. Apollo presented the profiles of the Shadow Bolts. What the fuck? Take that! Began Apollo. The Shadow Bolts, who were made from the mist itself and attempting to find a way to get the mist to possess Luna again and revive Nightmare Moon. However, their plan failed quite miserably, in fact, because they were just destroyed by none other than Princess Luna herself. So, as you can see, Mr. Payne, Princess Luna did not cause this incident, as Apollo did his finger point towards... Okay, Payne just stood there for a moment before finally looking down quickly in obvious anger. Apollo smirked confidently, but then Payne just began laughing maniacally again. Cue, suspense, Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. Very good indeed, Mr. Justice. You've passed your test with flying colors. For you see, I was simply testing you, giving you flimsy logic to test if you were any good or not. And yes, you are. Congratulations, informed Payne. That's bullshit. Yeah, right. You just want to admit you were wrong, though, Apollo.
It's Apollo.
Apollo is right. Yeah, right. You just want to admit you were wrong, retard. Like, kill yourself. Though, Apollo. However, let's stay on the subject of magic, shall we? Suggested Payne. Figures. I didn't expect him to pursue a new line of logic this quickly anyway, thought Apollo. Payne continued. Using magic and spells dangerous. Even you must agree with Mr. What? This seems...
What happened here?
What the fuck? Yeah!
God damn it!
Using magic and spells endangers. Even this you must agree with, Mr. Justice. I read it as even this you must agree with, Mr. Justice, and not even this you must agree with, Mr. Justice, like without the...
This is what happens when there's no goddamn commas.
Yeah, I was so confused. I, like, looked at that for, like, a split second, like, how the fuck? Apollo nodded. I do, actually. When using a spell can go wrong, perhaps even horribly wrong, added Apollo. Exactly. This brings me to my next point. So, have any of you unicorns used any spells recently? Perhaps they went wrong, which caused this incident. Well... Miss Sparkle, Rarity, Scratch, Luna, and Celestia accused Payne. Rarity jumped forward immensely. I think Rarity was like the... How dare you! You ruffle your money, my expensive films! Not even they do the worst such a catastrophic like this! Stated Rarity. She's right! Even I know how bad spells can go wrong, especially when you're using a highly advanced spell! Added Twilight. Objection! Began Apollo. You're forgetting something, Mr. Payne. In order an incident to be caused like this, it would have to be a very powerful spell. One that, no offense to Twilight, Rarity, and Vanilla Scratch, would be way too powerful for them to use, let alone try. How do you know that? You literally have only known them for like 5 minutes. Shut the fuck up, Apollo. As if you know anything about the... Igeti, began Payne. I agree, Mr. Justice. This only leaves Princess Celestia and Princess Luna. However, we've already concluded that Princess Luna didn't do this, which leaves only one pony left. Well, used any powerful spells lately that backfired and caused this incident. Everyone was flat out shocked and speechless at Payne's new accusation. Even Apollo was shocked. I can't believe he's actually accusing Celestia of causing this incident. We should add this incident to phrases like sweat dropped and, even more serious. Can we? I think it needs to be added
or
to the
tense.
Yeah, tense too. I forgot that.
How did you forget tense?
Exactly. Fucking hell. So Apollo. Objection! Began Twilight. How dare you! Princess Celestia would never! Hold it! Began Celestia. It's alright, Twilight. He does make a good point. So, would you like me to provide my testimony now? Correct. What would you like? You would like me. Oh, okay. Right. I read it wrong. Okay, they're right. I think you would like me to provide my testimony now. Correct. If you would be so kind, Princess, suggested Pain. Luna returned to the rest of the group, and Celestia took her place. Twilight replaced Celestia as Apollo's co. So what did Celestia even do as co-counsel? The fuck? What? Why was she there? Okay, whatever. Please, Apollo, there's no way Princess Celestia did this. You just have to prove her innocence, pleaded Twilight. Apollo became serious again. Don't worry, Twilight. I know she didn't do this. Pain's just grasping at straws at this point, refusing to admit his original accusation was wrong like a retard, assured Apollo. You've gotta be kidding. Things were about to become even more insane. I'm shocked you didn't say intense. Did Celestia cause this incident? No way. Let's hope Apollo can prove it now. To be continued. P.S. Pain obviously has a death wish. What are these ponies going to do to fucking Pain? More testimony goodness next week.
I don't even know what the ponies would do.
Well, you're in for a treat, maybe. Maybe another character will randomly yell a lie.
Let me grab through here. How many voices are we done here? Oh man. Damn, why did Twilight have to start talking?
Good question. That's a good question. I don't even think I see her, like... Maybe you'll be lucky and, like, she doesn't talk like how Celestia didn't fucking speak as the co-counsel.
Never mind. Okay, never mind. Okay, she's like the Naruto here. I saw her here, like, twice, I thought, and I was a little annoyed. Okay. I mean, I've honestly thought about just reading this in one solid voice here instead of switching around because I don't think this really deserves my respect. This is My Little Pony and a Naruto crossover.
I do not blame you. I like how the story is labeled as "The World Ends with You."
How many chapters was Neko in?
Like 5?
3?
Like maybe 3. If you want to give it in just a straight voice, you can. I will not blame you. That is an option.
I can already tell you that I am just going to do complete shit posts for my voices because that's what this story deserves.
Yeah, I don't. This doesn't deserve a real emotional performance from me, and I'm not gonna get it. Okay. New trial. Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. State your name and occupation. Ordered Pain. Princess Celestia, co-princess of Equestria. I raised the sun and watched over Equestria during the day. Did we go over this already? I'm pretty sure. Okay, it's an Ace Attorney.
Ace Attorney makes you. They do repeat shit in Ace Attorney, but not this badly.
But we literally just okay, whatever. All right then, I'll be lenient for once. You disagree with my accusation, correct? Aspect. What do you mean you're being lenient here?
Yeah.
We're legitimately, I don't know what he means.
I don't
like. Whatever. Cool. Reply. Alright then. Give us your testimony about how you couldn't have caused this incident. Then, once I prove you're lying, you'll have no choice but to admit your guilt, remarked Pain. Celestia still wasn't reacting to any of Pain's comments. Alright, fine. I accept your challenge, Pain. Apollo, Twilight, and Pain became serious once again. Here we go again.
Oh.
You, Moderado 2007, Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney.
God.
In case you didn't hear the first time, I was asleep when the teleportation occurred. I woke up here out of nowhere, just like most of everyone else here. There is one thing I agree with you on, Pain. Using magic and spells does have a dangerous aspect to them. However, I wasn't trying any spells at the time. A pony like me and my stature is most certainly aware of the consequences of a highly advanced and powerful spell going wrong. If the magic is truly responsible for causing this incident, I believe it is a different kind of magic. So, as you can see, I am not responsible for causing this incident, informed Celestius. So her argument is, I don't think I did it, so I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. Yeah, I totally didn't do it. Kill yourself, Pain. Like,
well, asked Twilight. Nothing seems out of place, replied Apollo. Objection, began Pain. Likely story. Mr. Justice, I want more information. Press for more information during your cross-examination. Now,
why the fuck doesn't Pain just, like, slaughter them?
Why would Pain's literally more powerful than anyone here?
Yeah, why is he like humoring them? Like,
I guess that's his leniency. Oh yeah, I'll talk to you instead of just murdering you, even though I've been doing that for like the past 2 or 3 chapters. Whatever, sure. Apollo remained serious. Alright, sure. I'll do it only to prove how wrong this accusation of yours is, stated Apollo. Granted Pain. It didn't matter anyway. Apollo was going to do this regardless of giving order to by Pain or not. Things were getting interesting again. In case you didn't hear it the first time, I was asleep when the teleportation occurred, said Celestia. Hold it, began Apollo. Let's go ahead and remind him some more then. You were worn out from watching all the question, correct? That's right. Watching all over a question is very tiresome. It's busiest during the day. I'm glad my sister returned and retook her duty of guarding the night, because I pretty much got no sleep at all when I watched over both. Answered Celestia. I see. That must have been rough, remarked Apollo. Yes, it most certainly was, added Celestia. Objection. Irrelevant. Move on. Ow. Celestia didn't react. She just moved on. Well, thank you for telling me that that entire little paragraph was pointless.
Yeah, fucking retarded. Like
that's just dumb. Like now that really points out just how dumb it is to press every statement here. If even the writer's like, yeah, that's irrelevant.
Yeah, like
you literally you wasted your own time. You wasted your own time typing this. No, here's the thing. He actually understands the structure of Ace Attorney very well, but he also doesn't understand which parts to adapt out. I take it back. He's definitely played an Ace Attorney game. I'm not saying he comprehended what happened in the Ace Attorney game, but he's definitely played one. I do agree. He actually understands the structure surprisingly well, but he's retarded. That's the problem. Where was I? Okay. I woke up here out of nowhere, just like everyone else here, said Celestia. Hold it! Began Apollo. Just to confirm, you weren't by yourself for very long, right? You got one Kratos Orient after you woke up?
I forgot Kratos.
What's that?
I forgot he was in this story. Oh
yes, my God. I forgot he was here!
Oh, yeah.
Kratos was in this. He was here! That's correct. I most certainly didn't have time to cover up anything if I did cause this incident, as in Celestia. Objection! Began Pain. That means nothing. A powerful being such as yourself would have had plenty of time to cover up your tracks. Maybe so, Pain, but you see, began Celestia as she continued her smartphone. There's one thing I agree with you on, Pain. Using magic and spells does have a dangerous aspect to them. Hold it, began Apollo. Just out of curiosity, but if using magic and spells so dangerous, is why I still do the first. Shut the fuck up, asshole!
Yeah.
What kind of fucking question is that?
Yeah.
Just because something's dangerous doesn't mean you don't do it. A lot of things are dangerous. Welding is dangerous. Firefighting is
Driving
dangerous.
Driving a car could technically be considered dangerous.
Dangerous. You gotta. Shut up, asshole!
Smooth brain Apollo.
Oh, thank you. Where was I? Okay. That's actually a good question, Apollo. No, it isn't! I suppose you can say the risk is worth the reward, said Celestia. How so? Said Pain. Well, because every pony needs it pretty much. Some things pretty much require magic in order for them to use. However, I assure you that we ensure no disasters occur by training all unicorns to use their magic correctly in magical training school, replied Celestia.
How I hate the word every pony. I want to light this person with fire.
Yeah, every pony's such a terrible term.
Yeah, I remember when fucking Friendship is Magic was everywhere on the internet, and everyone fucking said this.
Yeah, I wanted to beat somebody. I used to watch My Little Pony back in the day. That's one of those things I don't talk about for obvious reasons, but that didn't happen.
I watched the first few seasons.
I didn't watch any of it. Shockingly,
it's genuinely not a bad show.
I'm sure
it's got a lot of people that actually know how to make cartoons on this.
It's not a bad show, but the thing is, the fan base has tainted it horribly.
Yeah, most things I would say you're autistic for doing, but no, the My Little Pony fan was a special kind of autism, but that truly still hasn't quite been replicated yet.
No. Not at all.
Ideally, it never will be.
But true. There's so much. The fact that there's that much porn of it is really kind of scary. It really makes you question the mental state of most people. But you know, and I'm not talking the humanized porn. If you want to humanize them and draw porn of that, that's a-okay. I respect that. That's fine.
I don't visit E61 on the camera.
Human or Anthro even.
Even Anthro. But if they're just fucking horses, you might have a problem. There might be something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm a degenerate. I'm not really trying to call out anybody, but it's something that disturbed me even back then. And it still disturbs me now when I really think about it.
Do you think the person who wrote this had a hand down their pants every time a pony came into the conversation?
You didn't have to say that.
Exactly. Back to the plot.
Back to the plot. Please continue. Okay, I see. Please continue. Suggested Polly, so let's just say. However, I'm not reading that shit again. Okay, whatever that's underlined, I'm not reading it again.
I
Fuck
do not
you.
blame
I'm not
you.
rereading it. Hold it. Yeah, Apollo. However, he finally broke into a cold sweat, but still asked his question regardless.
Cold sweat returns.
Wait.
Holy shit.
Wait. So if there is such a spell that, if it were to go horribly wrong, could call an incident like this to occur? Unfortunately, yes, there is, answered Celestia. Objection, which began Kane, which means you did cause this incident. Hold it, began Celestia. I wasn't finished. However, even I know not to use spells like that because what can happen where they too go horribly wrong. But that didn't stop you from trying the spell anyway now, did it? Remarked Payne. For you see, as he continued his testimony, if magic's surely responsible for consequences. Hold it again, Apollo, as he returned to normal in his thinking post. In your opinion, then, what kind of magic did cause this incident, then? Another great question, Apollo. Unfortunately, I honestly don't quite know. Replied Celestia. Objection, began Payne, which only means you caused this incident.
Fucking Payne has, like, no argument at all. I feel bad for him.
He's literally just slowly raising his finger up and pointing at her. Not actually giving a real argument. Celestia said nothing and just continued her testimony. So, as you can see, I am not responsible for... Hold it, began Apollo. Don't take this the wrong way, but you've remained pretty calm, cool, and collected despite Mr. Payne's accusation. Celestia giggled, then spoke up. What, you didn't expect me to be shocked? It wasn't surprising, really. Especially coming from someone like him. So, well, yeah, sure. Comment. Did Celestia? Payne didn't react to this. Apollo was thought again. I can't believe it, but Celestia set things in motion for me. It's pretty obvious what I have to do here, thought Apollo. If magic is truly responsible for causing this... Objection, began Apollo. Mr. Payne, there's a pretty reasonable explanation of why Celestia couldn't have caused this incident. Oh, and what would that be? It's simple, really. It doesn't matter how powerful she may be. If she caused this incident, she wouldn't be able to conceal all the magical remnants of the spell causing this incident. There would be a magical disturbance throughout this entire world, don't you agree? Asked Apollo. I suppose that's true. There is, isn't there? Queried Payne. Apollo shook his head. No, there's not. There's only area that had any magical disturbance within it was east, as stated in this report.
That's the first time they mentioned the store. That's the first time they mentioned an area specifically. Holy shit.
I've been with you in a while.
That's like the first mention of not only the world and city, but that's the first mention of any specific area, because they weren't ever being specific at all about where the characters were.
Didn't they mention something? I want to say they mentioned Nogazaka once or something, maybe, but I don't remember.
Maybe they
think they did, but I don't know. Informed Apollo as he presented a sort of magical disturbance report that he wrote down from the information he got from Celestia Twilight. Payne finally became angry again.
I'd be angry too.
I got this information from Celestia, informed Apollo. Objection, began Payne. She's trying to cover her tracks. Objection, began Apollo, as he shook his head again. You're wrong, because Twilight explains it as well. Besides, like I already said, the magical disturbance would be in all areas of Shibuya UG, and it's not. It's only in A East. I actually have proof of what this magical disturbance involves. Oh, then show your proof, suggested Payne. Apollo nodded. Gladly, the magical disturbance involves this person, began Apollo as he continued to take that! Apollo
Yezerman!
He's back, man! He's back!
Brian Yezerman!
I can't remember. Did Brian Yezerman just leave the story, or did he die?
He literally got like yeeted out of the story because he's like a Pokemon roleplay OC, and I guess like he got invited to a Pokemon roleplay, so he just got deleted out of the fucking story.
Hey, do you know who this is?
Oh my god!
I like how he recognizes Brian.
Fucking Yezerman, that's awful. Holy shit!
So funny. The fact that he just says Brian Iserman. When he's like, no shit, retard. Obviously, Brian Iserman.
It says so at the top corner of the page.
Like, that is no period either. It's just Brian Iserman. Thank you. In A East, out of nowhere and unexpectedly, Brian Iserman was kicked out of the Shibuya UG, despite the fact they didn't lose a fight, which is how you're supposed to be removed from the Shibuya UG. There's a witness to this as well, informed Apollo. Oh, who would that be? Asked Payne. What's that? Began Apollo as he presented Fiddle Scratch's profile now. When did Fiddle Scratch? She saw this happen to Brian Iserman firsthand. So what do you have to say to that, Mr. Payne? Stated Apollo as he did his finger point toward Payne. Payne could only stand there before looking downward quickly angrily. What? Downward quickly angrily, asshole. However, it didn't take long for Payne to cackling again, which only made Apollo become more serious. Suspense, Apollo just as I believe there's a very logical explanation for that, informed Payne. Oh, and what would that be? Don't make me repeat myself, Mr. Justice. I've already informed you what I'm referring to, replied Payne. Apollo just had a look of confusion on his face, so Payne spoke up again. Fine, I'll remind you again, but this is the last time I'm saying it. Magic, informed Payne. Magic? Repeated Apollo. That's correct. It's simple, really. Miss Scratch wanted to show off her magic to be Mr. Iserman. However, she screwed her spell up. The effects of this are obvious. Mr. Iserman was yeeted back home. This also explains the magical disturbance that you remarked. Remarked Payne. Apollo finally realized what Payne was saying. When he did, he became serious again. Alright then. Well, let's ask Fiddle Scratch about this. She'll be able to tell us about it for sure, suggested Apollo. Payne smirked returned to his face. That's exactly what I was about to say, stated Payne. So Apollo simply nodded again. Fine! The defense accepts the prosecution's challenge. Announced the prosecution. Okay. Announced Apollo. Payne smirked at the launcher again. Celestia returned to the rest of the group. As for Fiddle Scratch, she lowered her head, but quickly raised it back up and began walking towards the area between Apollo and Payne where all the witnesses were standing. However, as she paused Apollo, he spoke to her, making her stop momentarily. I'm sorry, Fiddle Scratch. I truly am. I know you probably don't want to talk about this anymore. However, to prove who really calls against it here, it looks like we don't have a choice, remarked Apollo. Fiddle Scratch lowered her head before quickly raising it back up again. Don't worry about it, it's fine. To be completely honest, I kind of expected this to happen, so I'm not really surprised, replied Fiddle. Yeah, commented Apollo. Fiddle Scratch took her place between Apollo and Payne. Then, unexpectedly, he replaced Twilight.
Why?
Apollo's Twilight literally said no words.
Yeah, literally nothing.
Entire time.
What was the point? Why have a co-counsel if they aren't going to do anything? Oh no!
Wow. My God.
Mean McMean Pants! What a cool party pony like DJ Pony would never do something like that, declared Pinky. Believe it or not, Apollo didn't react to this. He was just as serious as ever. Thank God. I know. Don't worry, Pinky. I'll prove she didn't do this, assured Apollo. This made Payne smirk go again. Which caused Pinkie Pie to glare at him, which made Pink's smirk disappear entirely, only to be replaced with a serious expression on his face. Fiddle Scratch was serious as well. Everyone was ready, it seemed. Things weren't even close to resolving.
Son of a bitch.
He continued. P.S. Yeah, no one likes you, Payne. Sad face.
Payne's the fucking hero in this situation. He was like about to fucking assassinate all the ponies. What do you mean?
I like Payne being based here. He could like ruin everyone.
Yeah. He could. If I ever make a sequel to this, I will have to make that the start of the story, and then he never appears again.
You don't have to. You don't have to make a sequel to this. In fact, you probably shouldn't.
Maybe. It would be entertaining, though. I could make it based. Patrick Star murders the shit out of Akane Kurashiki. It will be powerful. Just watch.
Oh, boy. Okay, for the anime, show me what you frickin' got. Oh, boy, alright. Note. Ready for a possible explanation? I certainly hope so. Chapter 41. The Truth. Oh, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this DM picture?
It's the fucking pain.
My pain is far greater than yours.
Us reading this story.
Here the trial frame for Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. State your name and occupation. Ordered Payne. Vinyl scratch. I'm a DJ. I play music, mostly at parties, imported events, stuff like that. Really? Replied Vinyl. Alright then. Tell us, in detail, what happened to Brian Yzerman. Then, once I prove you're the one that caused him to be forced out of the Shibuya underground, you'll have no choice but to admit it, declared Payne. Vinyl Scratch didn't really react to this. Well, we'll see about that, remarked Vinyl. Alright, Polly, you know what you had to do, stated Pinky. Apollo simply nodded. I do, assured Apollo. Here we go yet again. Cube Moderato 2007 from Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. To be honest, it just sort of happened out of nowhere. There was no reason for it either. I and Brian had just defeated some more enemies and we were just exploring some more of the Shibuya underground. Then, all of a sudden, Brian's starting to float into the sky. I had no idea what was going on, let alone what to do. It was like some sort of invisible enemy and I couldn't stop it. Brian tried to fight it, sure, but nothing worked. He just kept going higher and higher until he just freaking disappeared.
I like to believe he got eaten by the sun.
For very long, but I have no idea who could have done that. I don't think Brian had any enemies. However, I swear to you it wasn't me. I don't even use spells and magic very often because my job doesn't require much use of spells and magic.
You mean acquire much use?
Much use? You said it doesn't use it at all, retard.
Yeah.
Pain every time I think of Pain smirking, I just think of fucking Pain, but with the Grinch smile.
Pain smirked, returned yet again. You're the one who really caused Brian Yzerman to be forced out of the Shibuya underground by botching a magic spell, accused Payne. Vinyl didn't react to this. However, Apollo spoke up again. Mr. Payne, once again, if you'll allow me to do my cross-examination, I will once again prove to you that your accusation is wrong, claimed Apollo. Payne's smirk grew again. Fine. Be my guest.
Oh, he got it right.
Try. And fail, remarked Payne. Oh, I'll try, alright. I'll try. And succeed, thought Apollo. Here we go. Yet again. To be honest, it just sort of happened out of nowhere. There was no reason for it either. I and Brian had just defeated some more enemies, and we were just exploring some more of the Shibuya underground. Stated, hold it! Began Apollo. So basically, there was no out. What?
There's really no out,
Okay, so basically there was really no outlying reason for what happened. It just sort of happened randomly. Yeah, pretty much you're not supposed to disappear and most likely sent back to your old world unless you lost a fight here. And we didn't! There was no reason for it to happen like that, stated Vital. Of course there was. There's always a reason, remarked Payne. No one responded to Payne. Vinyl just continued her testimony. Then, all of a sudden, Brian started to float into the sky. I had no idea what was going on, let alone what to do, stated Vinyl. Hold it, began Apollo. That is pretty shocking. However, could you perhaps be more specific about how Brian was floating into the sky? Please do, added Payne. Sure, the only way I can really describe it that makes any sense is, well, it was like a large, invisible hand came down from the sky and picked Brian up, replied Vital. Objection, began Payne. There's no such thing as anything like that. I know that. I just tried to explain it to you what it looked like that was happening, remarked Vital.
Such a shitty prosecutor.
Payne said nothing, so Vital Scratch spoke up again. So basically, began Vinyl as she continued her testimony, it was like some sort of invisible enemy and I couldn't stop it. Brian tried to fight it, sure, but nothing worked. He just kept going higher and higher until he just disappeared. Hold it, began Apollo. You really couldn't stop it? Trust me, I wanted to, but I just didn't know what to do or how to do it. I didn't want to hit Brian by mistake either, so all I could do was watch, replied Vinyl as she lowered her head, as obviously upset again. I'm sorry to have to bring it up again, said Apollo. Vinyl scratch quickly returned to normal.
I just want to say your Apollo voice is killing me. I just imagine Apollo as this nice little cowboy.
Yeah, he has like a slight accent. Fucking kills me.
I just imagine him with like a you know those little pot, those like how cowboys like chew on like a thing of wheat, you know, coming out of their mouth and shit, like that little straw.
Kind of like fake and kill impression.
That's what I like to imagine Apollo sounds like with just a cowboy hat that's sticking out of his mouth.
If I find Cowboy Apollo, I will make it part of the thumbnail somehow. You have my word.
Yeah. Anyway, Beck, it's all right. It's not your fault anyway. Remarked Vital. Objection, began Payne. That's because the only one truly at fault here is yourself and your terribly botched spell.
And you are terribly botched.
Why the fuck do you do this to me, anime man? This made Vital glare at Payne angrily, but then just continued her testimony. I may not have known him for very long, but I have no idea who could have done that. I don't think Brian had any enemies, said Vital. Hold it, began Apollo. Are you absolutely sure Brian didn't have any enemies that wanted to kick his ass? He could have, you know. He may just have not told you about them because he didn't want you worrying too much. That's true. To be honest, I don't really have any idea if Brian had any enemies or not. I suppose he could have, and they were actually the ones who did this to him and forced him out of Shibuya Underground. Quoted Vital. Objection, began Payne. Wrong. The only enemy he had was you, who forced him out of the Shibuya Underground with your botched spell. Oh yeah? Well, you see, began Vinyl as she continued her testimony. However, I swear to you, it wasn't me. I don't even use spells and magic very often because my job doesn't require much use of spells and magic. Hold it, began Apollo. So you're a DJ, right? Your job really doesn't require much use of skills or magic? No, not really, no. I mostly just use my magic to turn up the volume, switch records, stuff like that, really, informed by... Objection! Began Payne. That only tells us you're not that great at using other kinds of spells and magic, which makes it even more likely that you, in fact, did botch a spell that truly caused Brian Yzerman to be forced out of the underground! Says you, but I know I did it. That's not something I could possibly do, declared Vinyl. Yet, we have only your word on that. No other witnesses actually saw this, said Payne. Unfortunately, he was right. So what are you supposed to do now, Apollo? Asked Pinky. Simple. We show who actually did do this, answered Apollo. You know who did it? Gasped Pinky. Not really. It's only a theory. Unfortunately, this is really... Shut up. This is really the only course of action I can take, replied Apollo. I may not have known him for very long, but I have no idea who could have done that. I don't think Brian had any enemies, stated Vi. Objection, began Apollo. Final scratch, I think I know who may have done this. Really? Who? Asked Vinyl. Do tell, added Payne. Apollo, as well as everyone else, became
Word serious gives Rant aneurysm.
It's simple, really. We've already determined that the magical disturbance in A East wasn't caused by a pony. This was confirmed by Princess Celestia, Twilight Sparkle, and particularly by Renoa Hearttooth. It was caused by some other force. What kind of force? Well, Think about it. There's only one reason Brian Yzerman was forced out of the Shibuya Underground without losing a fight, informed Apollo. What would that reason be? Asked Apollo. I'm Pain. Apollo crossed his arms again, and he had his confident smirk on his face again. Simple, Mr. Payne. He knew too much, answered Apollo. Payne actually looked confused for once. What do you mean? Asked Payne. Well, obviously, if Brian Yzerman had stayed, he would have been easily be able to determine and identify the true criminal and culprit of this incident. The criminals just could not allow that to happen because their entire plans would be ruined, answered Apollo. Alright then, so since you're so sure of it yourself, why don't you tell us who this criminal is then? Suggested by Payne. Apollo nodded. Sure, however, I can only tell you what group they are a part of. This group is from the same world as Brian Yzerman, the Pokemon world. I don't know which one it is, but I am sure that the culprit behind this incident is a part of this group, began Apollo. Take that! Apollo then presented a group profile known as the Legendary Pokemon.
Oh boy.
Apollo then did his finger point towards Payne again. You cornered from 2007 Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. The Legendary Pokemon, accused Apollo. Everyone was shocked by this, even Payne, though only a little. The Legendary Pokemon weren't, though. Mewtwo's group smirked evilly in a good way, while Arceus' group was angry. However, Payne smirked and began laughing maniacally again. Do you have any idea what you just did, Mr. Justice? You just accused some of the victims on your side as well as my side as well, informed Payne. Apollo crossed his arms and had his confident smirk on his face again. Maybe so. However, I can assure you that none of the legendary Pokemon on my side caused this incident. Oh. And how do you intend on proving that? Asked Payne. Simple. It's not just that where you... It's just... Fuck, I couldn't read. It's just like before when you accused Twilight, Rarity, and Vinyl Scratch. No offense to them, but in order to cause a large multi-world incident like this, they'd have to be a very powerful legendary Pokemon. And there's really only one legendary Pokemon that fits that description, like Apollo.
Let's play.
Everyone knew where he was going with... Shut up. With this now, Mewtwo's group smirks became larger, while Arceus' group became quite shocked. As for Arceus himself, he was getting angrier and angrier. Payne was quite serious as well, but then... Objection! Began Payne. I believe there's a simpler explanation for the cause of this incident. Figures, thought Apollo as he then spoke up. Oh. What would that be? Asked Apollo, cue suspense from Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Come on now, Mr. Justice, surely you must know what I am talking about, reminded Payne. Apollo didn't. He simply shook his head. No, I don't. I'm pretty sure none of us do. You'll have to explain it to us, unfortunately, answered Apollo, Payne-sided. Fine. Listen closely, suggested Payne. Everyone did. Or was at least paying attention at it, anyway. Payne spoke up again. There is someone here with a secondary power. The secondary power can cause an incident like this as well. Not only that, but the person in question can't even control the power, making it ever more likely to have caused this incident. I am, of course, talking about body materialization, began Payne. It was obvious where he was going with this, and everyone became serious once again. Payne did his finger point towards Apollo's group before actually revealing it. I'm talking, of course, about you. Yay! To be honest, no one reacted to this, not even Hiei. Payne's accusations were just becoming ridiculous by this point. Vital Scratch returned to the rest of Apollo's group, and Hiei took her place. Kratos stepped up and replaced Pinkie Pie as Apollo's co-counsel.
At least Pinkie actually said something.
That's true.
But at least Kratos is back in the story.
Kratos is based, please, God.
Not really.
What? No objections? Asked Payne. No, Let's get this done and over with, replied Hiei. Pain's smirk returned once again. Finally, someone with some common sense, remarked Pain. Oh, this is getting ridiculous now, asked Kratos.
That's not a question.
It's stated, Kratos. I don't know. That wouldn't be out of character for this guy.
Yeah.
I almost didn't question until I actually read what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, once I prove this wrong, he'll have no chance but to go back to my accusation. That's when the battle will truly being. The battle will truly being.
Son of a bitch.
When the battle will truly be. I didn't misspeak. That is actually what the text says.
I didn't even notice until you said it. Son of a bitch. This story is something else. I cannot wait till we reach Kino, but we will finish this first.
This was the truth. Pain is being downright foolish now. It didn't matter. One way or another, Pain would have no choice but to speak about Apollo's accusation. This was inevitable. At this point, to be continued. P.S. After the next chapter, things really begin to heat up, so to speak.
Goodness gracious. Oh, we went through one cycle. We only have one more to go. I don't think it's as terrible as we were imagining it to be. It's pretty bad.
It's still pretty terrible.
It's awful, yes, but it's not like excruciatingly awful.
It's at least ending.
Yeah? Yeah? What do you think, Miles? We're halfway done with like this session.
Could be better. Oh man, there's a lot of holds and objections here.
Yeah.
There's like a chunk of them.
I'm going to be I'm gonna be very tired after this chapter. I could feel it. Let me think. Well, let's see. So it's like, okay, I was like thinking how much we'd have left of like the story overall, but we will do one more ring of chapters because I am not a sadist. If I were, I'd be like, okay, we're gonna do all of them, but I'm not an asshole either. So we will do this set, and then that will be that. All right. Note, at last, things are about to become a lot more interesting, I hope. Chapter 2, Materialization. State your name and occupation, ordered Pain. Yeah, as far as my occupation goes, well, I guess you could call me a freelance assassin, stated Hiei. Everyone became tense, and were actually quite shocked, except Pain's group, and Kratos, that is, but only for a moment before they returned to normal. Alright then, why don't you respond to my accusation, then once you lie and I prove it, this nonsense will finally be over, suggested Pain. That's what you think, Mr. Pain, thought Apollo. He didn't really react and simply began his testimony. Here we go, once again. I got here pretty much the same way as most everyone else got here. I fell asleep and simply woke up here in the Shibuya UG. Unfortunately, I was alone for quite some time, until I found Vinyl Scratch, that is. As far as my power is concerned, yes, it's true, I can use body materialization. However, I've only used it once, and I really only use it in emergency situations. However, I can assure you that I didn't use this power in the way that you're claiming. Besides, if I really did cause this incident, do you really think things would be working out the way they are right now? Say whatever you want to, I didn't cause this incident, stated Hiei. Likely story, remarked Pain. Objection, began Apollo. For the last time, Mr. Pain, just allow me to do my cross-examination. Fine. I can assume you know what will happen if you fail to prove I'm wrong, asked Pain. Apollo simply nodded. Pain smirked and spoke up again. Good, commented Pain. What exactly is he trying to do anyway? Asked Kratos. My guess would be to simply stall, replied Apollo. Kratos didn't say anything, so the cross-examination began. I will treat these as, like, interrupting them like how you would in the games, because that's pure soul if they, like, did that, but... Hold it! Began Apollo. Wait, you can really sleep? Well, of course, everyone needs sleep, retard. They need energy for the next day, reminded Hiei. Apollo broke into a cold sweat. Right, remarked Apollo. Move on if you would, suggested
Okay, that's actually a kind of Ace Attorney interaction, I feel like.
I expect that.
That's what I'm saying. He's played an Ace Attorney game before. That's probably like the best writing there's been there so far.
Yeah, so I mean, here's Shibuya Crossroads is honestly, it's not probably not one of the all-time worst fan fictions. It's just probably closer to just middle of the road bad.
Maybe.
It's still pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: with fan fiction, the bar for terrible goes. There's a lot of holes, a lot of lines with that.
I just can't wait till we could reach like a funnier story because like this is
here's the thing.
Bad,
this is like
it's not
bad,
cringe,
but there's like the occasional bit of cringe Kino.
Like there's not enough cringe Kino as the
to make it work. Yeah.
I mean it's not fucking hilarious Harry Potter bad fic type of thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Move on if you would, suggested Pain. EA did just that. Unfortunately, hold it! Began Apollo as he broke into a cold sweat again, but still asked his question. So, no one can really confirm your whereabouts, your actions, or what you were doing? Unfortunately, that is the case, yes, informed EA. Objection! Began Pain as the smirk grew again. Thank you for proving my claim. I'm not finished yet, because you see, began Hiei as he continued his testimony. Hold it! Began Apollo as he was in a cold sweat yet again. So this power can cause an incident like this to occur? Well, to be honest with you, I have no idea. However, I suppose it is possible, yes, replied Hiei. Objection, began Pain. Then what about does it then? Hold it, began Hiei. No, it doesn't, because you see, Hiei simply continued his testimony. However, hold it, began Apollo, still in a cold sweat. So, we'd all be dead? Of course not, I'm not the type of person who kills people for fun. I'm just being hypothetical, really, assured Hiei. Pain's smirk grew bigger yet again. How big is his fucking smirk by now? Is it like over his head? Jesus Christ. Keep going, Mr. Justice, you'll just keep proving my claim for me, stated Pain. Apollo finally recovered and became serious again. Hiei continued. Say, hold it, began Apollo. You're not reacting to this either. You're acting cool, calm, and collected too, just like Celestia was. Well, of course I am. There's no reason for me to freak out or whatever. I know I didn't do this, so I'm not worried in the slightest whatsoever, informed Hiei. We'll see how long that lasts, remarked Pain as he continued smirking. The contradiction? The contradiction? Asked Kratos. It's actually pretty obvious. I can't believe Pain hasn't noticed himself. Really is stalling, it seems, replied Apollo. However, objection! Began Apollo. Mr. Pain, he actually makes a good point here. If he truly was behind this incident, we wouldn't be standing here in this trial, so to speak, as we are right now. Besides, there's clear evidence of Hiei's innocence. Oh, what would that be? Asked Pain. That would be this. Began Apollo as he prepared to stop Pain's stalling tactics once and for all. It was time for a showdown anyway. Take that! Began Apollo as he once again presented the magical disturbance report. You remember this, yes. Pain didn't say anything, so Apollo spoke up again. Believe it or not, this magical disturbance report proves Hiei's innocence as well, claimed Apollo. Oh, does it? Mind explaining them? Suggested Pain. Apollo nodded. No problem, Mr. Pain. I looked into this magical disturbance more than you seem to think I did. I asked all the magical specialists in my group. I even got an updated, fucking magical specialty report updated. One in particular was able to pretty much tell me quite a lot of information about not only what the magic was, but who or what used it as well. This specialist was one, Renoa Hartilli. She is a sorceress and therefore has quite a lot of magical experience and knowledge. Would you like to know what she told me? Asked Apollo. Shockingly, believe it or not, Pain actually broke into a cold sweat. He wasn't saying anything either, so Apollo just continued. She told me several things, actually. She sort of scanned everyone, I guess you could say, in order to get a basic idea of what everyone's magical energies were like. In order to ensure fairness, when you and your group arrived, she scanned all of you as well, informed Apollo. All of a sudden, Pain's group became a lot more serious and slightly angry as well. Pain was still in a cold sweat, saying nothing. How many times did it say cold sweat in the fucking last paragraph? Saying nothing, so Apollo simply continued. The magic that caused the magic disturbance in AES does not belong to any one of the ponies. In fact, there's only one group it matched. Unfortunately, she couldn't exactly pin it down from which one it matched, but that doesn't matter, because it proves my previous accusation, explained Apollo. It was finally time. Apollo did his finger point towards Pain and his group. It only matches one group, the legendary Pokemon, declared Apollo. This only made everyone become even more serious. Mewtwo's groups had their smirks grow larger. Arceus's group was angry, tense, and some were even in a cold sweat as well. The only thing Pain could do was look quickly in anger again. Before Pain could speak up, Apollo spoke up first. It's true.
I just want to say I like hearing angry, tense, and cold sweat all right now.
Yeah.
Like he was like taking off a check.
Like that kind of thing makes me think that he knows what he wrote at this point.
I hope so. I really hope so. Jesus Christ, like...
Oh yeah, and this is also after smirks grew larger. And serious.
It's serious. That was the most infinite anime sentence.
Oh my god. Just thank you, Infinite. It's true. Miss Hartilli couldn't pin down what legendary Pokemon it was. She said it was because their magical energies were similar to each other. However, she figured out the same thing I did. Whichever legendary Pokemon it was, it had to be very powerful, began Apollo as he once again did his finger point towards Pain in his group. You can't avoid this any longer. You've done nothing but stall for time with ridiculous accusations with no merit to them whatsoever. Enough. Stop avoiding my claim. It's time for us to discuss who truly caused this incident. At last, it finally happened. Pain and the rest of his group recovered. Then they became very serious. This made Apollo and his group become just as serious as well. Alright, Mr. Justice, if you want to pursue this matter further, I won't stop you. I'll even play along with you for a little bit. However, once I prove how idiotic your claim really is, we can get back on the matter and figure out who foolishly caused this incident to occur, stated Pain. We'll see about that. To be honest, though, I expected more of a fight from them. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about this, thought Apollo. Then it happened. A pulse ran through Apollo's body. It was his bracelet reacting again. Okay, what the fuck? My bracelet is reacting again. I think I know what it's trying to tell me. Looks like I'll be using my abilities in this case after all, thought Apollo. Finally, at last, Apollo spoke up aloud. Mr. Pain, I've been accepting every challenge you've been giving me, so I have a challenge for you. Are you willing to hear it? Asked Apollo. Pain actually became interested now. Tell it to me, replied Pain. Apollo nodded. You disagree with my claim and accusation, correct? Asked Apollo. Of course I do, stated Pain. Alright then, let's hear your reasoning and your logic on why my accusation is wrong, offered Apollo. Pain's smirk now returned to his face. You're right, Mr. Justice. I've given you a lot of challenge, and you've accepted all of them. It's only fair I do the same. The prosecution accepts the defense's challenge, announced Pain. Apollo remained serious. At this point, Ichigo stepped forward and replaced Kratos as Apollo's co-counsel. I guess Kratos said one line, and that's something, I guess.
He had like 2 lines.
Yeah, he had 2 lines, excuse me. Do you really know what you're doing? Asked Ichigo. For once, I'm pretty sure I do, answered Apollo. Pretty sure. Well, good luck regardless, remarked Ichigo. It was finally time. The moment that was inevitable. The moment that everyone seemed to be waiting for to happen. Apollo versus Pain. Who would come out the winner? We'll see. To be continued. P.S. Time for some logic chess. Apollo Justice style. Okay. I thought that was like Miles Edgeworth only, but okay. Logic chess, let's fucking go.
Miles Edgeworth only. Well, that means it's fitting that I get to read this. I'll say that this would almost be... The thing is, he understands the structure of Ace Attorney pretty surprisingly well. Like, it's even better than I thought. But the problem is... The thing is, Ace Attorney doesn't work when you have literally like 50 plus characters.
Yeah, dude, like
if this was just an Ace Attorney fanfic, this would almost be pretty good. Well, I wouldn't say good. Good is a very big stretch, but it would be
passable.
All right, yeah, but oh man, this is part 1. I just see chapter 43, Apollo vs. Pain, part 1. But all right, let's do this. Are you ready for some logic chess, Apollo Justice style? Chapter 43, Apollo vs. Pain, part 1. Cue suspense. Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. Everyone seemed to be ready, especially Apollo and Pain. However, before they started, Apollo seemed to want to say something, so he spoke up. I think this is a good thing. I think it's about time we had ourselves a tete-a-tete, so to speak, Mr. Pain. I've never seen that. I've seen that phrase, but I've never had any idea how to pronounce it because I've only seen it in text.
So,
I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna say titty a titty. If that actually happens again. Remarked Apollo. Pain smirk once again returned to his face. I agree with you, believe it or not. We're on our way to finishing this. At last, one way or another, announced Pain. Apollo simply nodded. I agree. Now, if you don't mind, let's hear your logic and reasoning about my claim, suggested Apollo. Pain's smirk simply grew larger. Gladly, replied Pain. Apollo's bracelet was still reacting too. This would most certainly be interesting. Q, logic just opening. Yakutin Kenji 2. So, if I understand your theory correctly, you're claiming a legend. Oh god, I wish they. Okay, this is Pain Doctor. I couldn't even tell. Okay. So, if I understand your theory correctly, you're claiming a legendary Pokemon caused this incident, correct? It's too bad that the only proof you have is Miss Hartley's magical powers. You yourself even said that she couldn't pinpoint exactly which legendary Pokemon it was. You claim that it was someone very powerful. I disagree. Power means nothing. Any legendary Pokemon could have caused this incident. They just have to try hard enough. This claim is not only ridiculous, it's flat out ludicrous. Hopefully this has brought back common sense to you. Wait, what is that argument? We try hard. Anyone kind of done it.
Pain is like fucking retarded, and I'm all for it. This kills me.
Before Pain can speak up again, Apollo spoke up first. Well done, Mr. Pain. No! Well, now, if you don't mind, please go through that one more time so we may have a more thorough discussion about this, suggested Apollo. Pain smirk returned once again. You really like to stall, don't you? Fine, however, once you realize I'm right, we can get back to where we left off and figure out who truly caused this incident, replied Pain. We'll see about that, thought Apollo. That's his logic and reasoning? Asked Ichigo. Apparently. Do you know how to get onto this? I believe I do, assured Apollo. Ichigo said nothing more. So the panel truly began. So if I understand your theory correctly, you're claiming to ask me. Hold it! Began Apollo. Yes, that is what I'm claiming. Is there a problem with that? Oh, not really. It's just... began. Pansy will continue his claim. It's too bad the only proof you have is... Hold it! Began Apollo. Maybe so. That doesn't mean I'm wrong. She was able to confirm that the magical aura that causes magical disturbance in Ace and the magical auras and legendary Pokemon are the same. Brain smirk just grew again. So what? The fact of the matter is, we don't know which legendary Pokemon it is, if one of them at all, that is, remarked Pain. Apollo said nothing more, so Pain continued his claim. You claim it has to be someone very powerful. Hold it, began Apollo. Mr. Pain, have you forgotten? You yourself claimed someone or something very powerful caused this incident. As Apollo did his finger point towards Pain's group again. You're right, I have claimed that, and I still stand by that claim. However, you have to keep something in mind, Mr. Justice, that is, began Pain as he continued his claim. Any of the legendary Pokemon are caused this incident. They just have to try hard enough, stated Pain. And also, I don't care if I accidentally read one of those lines. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Hold it, began Apollo. So you're claiming that any of the legendary Pokemon could have caused this incident? They just have to try hard enough? Correct. The legendary Pokemon are powerful enough, are they not? Reminded Pain. Well, yes, but Apollo. Then there you have it, interrupted Pain. Apollo stays silent, so Pain continues to claim. This claim is not only ridiculous, it's flat out ludicrous. Apollo says it's not any more ludicrous or ridiculous than the accusations you've been giving. Pain didn't say anything. Apollo thought to himself, well, I guess. At least they're self-aware, but... Well, there was one part that my bracelets reacted the most to, thought Apollo. Apollo knows that part of Pain's claim. You claim that it has to be someone very powerful. I disagree. Power means nothing, stated Pain. Q, search, glance! Apollo Justice's attorney. There was one part of this testimony that Apollo the most. It was the power means nothing part. Apollo focused on Pain's eyes as Pain stated this. That's when Apollo noticed something weird, and honestly a little creepy. Pain's eyes were swirling. It was like water being drained or a toilet flushing one of those weird swirling hypnotism wheels. It was his habit. Once Apollo caught it, he instantly pointed it out. So you noticed he had fucking Rinnegan after all this time? His eyes always do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, use first glance. Okay, gotcha. began Apollo. Mr. Payne, I know something interesting. Would you like to know what it is? Payne said nothing, so Apollo spoke up again. As you said, power means nothing. Your eyes rolled forward, Apollo. Payne was actually shocked. No, remarked Payne. No, you're lying. You seem to have forgotten once again, so I'll remind you yet again. Mr. Payne, you yourself said it would say someone or something very powerful in order to cause this incident. You admitted that your group, the Akatsuki, have a powerful jutsu that could cause this incident. So not only are you lying, you're wrong! Declared Apollo. Payne actually broke into a cold sweat now, believe it or not. Thank you. Apollo's figure pointing towards Payne and his group. Cornered, Variation 2007. Power means everything. You claim that any one of the legendary Pokemon could cause an incident if they simply try to get hard enough? Wrong again. Only one legendary Pokemon has the power to cause this incident. That Pokemon is... began Apollo. Payne can do nothing but stand there in a cold sweat. Take that! Apollo presented Arceus Pofo. You did it. You caused this incident. Arceus! Arceus' group was flat out flabbergasted, speechless, and tense. Arceus was fuming, mauling, seething, shitting his goddamn pants. You two's group continued to have evil smirks on their face, in a good way. Then, it finally happened. Payne let loose his most maniacal, cackling laughter he's let loose yet. Apollo's group then became the most serious they've been so far. Cue suspense. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. What's so funny? Asked Apollo. Payne recovered in the smirk once and then returned. Oh. Nothing really, replied Payne. Apollo just then glared at Payne. Then Payne spoke up again. Mr. Justice, I'm willing to admit something to you, announced Payne. Oh, what would that be? Asked Apollo. Payne's smirk grew. It's entirely possible that one of the legendary Pokemon caused this incident, began Payne. Apollo was about to say something. Payne spoke up first. However, I can assure you, Arceus is not the one responsible for this incident. Oh, why do you say that? Asked Apollo. It's simple, really. If you've really done your homework on the legendary Pokemon, as you should have already know this. However, I'll remind you once again, Arceus is pretty much the god of Pokemon. As a god, he doesn't involve himself in any instance unless absolutely necessary. He can only observe. That's what gods are meant and supposed to do, reminded Payne. Arceus' group had their smirks returned to their faces, while Mewtwo's group became... What kind of cockamamie cock-brained argument is that? Arceus is literally right there. He's not observing anymore.
Yeah, he's not observing. He's literally he's literally right participating. What do you mean?
He's molding. He's not. Whatever. So, you have more to say then? Queried Apollo. Payne smirked. Screw once again. Of course I do. We're nowhere done with our titty as you put it, stated Payne. Apollo became even more serious. Ichigo went back to the rest of the group. He was quickly replaced by Base Naruto as Apollo's co-counsel. This guy's really a pain. I guess that's why it's his name, stated Naruto. Apollo actually giggled a little at Naruto's statement. Maybe, but if he thinks I'm simply going to give up, he's a fool as well, remarked Apollo. Go get him, suggested Naruto. Apollo simply nodded. It seems there's more to do. However, if Apollo can disprove Payne once again, maybe, just maybe, hopefully, the momentum will finally shift to the defense and we'll finally fucking get somewhere! Apollo's, the victims, the good guys, his favorite. Let's certainly hope that this is the case. More to be continued. P.S. More logic class. Maybe even a witness breakdown next week.
Maybe.
Oh. Damn it, that's just this shit was written weekly. God damn!
Yeah, imagine reading the story and having to wait a week. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Yeah, I applaud the few people in life that if they make a story or a webcomic or whatever, they can actually stick to their schedule for a very long time.
Review 7, favorites 3, follows 1. Oh boy.
Okay, well, alright, let's see what you got this here going. Let's put some gas into this. Ugh. Note. Finally, at last, Payne gets what's coming to him. Happy face. Chapter 44, Apollo vs. Payne, Part 2. Honestly, really, there was nothing left for anyone to say. Payne just began stating his next claim of logic and reasoning as to why Apollo's accusation was wrong. Everyone was still serious. And they seemed to be more than prepared for whatever was going to happen next. Payne, at last, spoke up and began once again. Logic chess endgame. You seem to be forgetting someone, Mr. Justice. I'm willing to admit that the possibility of a legendary Pokemon causing its incident is becoming more likely. However, Arceus couldn't be the legendary Pokemon that actually did it. I believe he's being framed, probably by one of his so-called friends, no less. A legendary Pokemon amongst Arceus' group is more likely. Someone who's close to Arceus. They are the ones who caused this incident, then attempted to frame Arceus for the crime because that legendary Pokemon wants us to think that only Arceus has the power to cause an incident like this. However, Arceus is a god, you see. He's the god of all Pokemon. Gods don't cause or involve themselves in incidents. They simply watch over everything and only intervene when it's absolutely necessary. Therefore, since Arceus is god, he couldn't have caused this incident.
I like how schizophrenic he sounded, yelling all.
Apollo was pretty serious and deep in thought. I can't believe Pain is accusing one of his own group members now. Is there no level this guy won't stoop to? Not Apollo. Naruto spoke up. Since true colors for you, he'll stop at nothing to get what he wants, stated Naruto. It doesn't matter what he does. He is wrong once again because he isn't a true Texan. It's time to end this once and for all, declared Apollo. With that, the back and forth between Apollo and Pain began once again. You seem to be forgetting something, mister. Just hold it, began Apollo. What is it that I'm forgetting? Simple, began Pain as he just continued his claim. I'm willing to admit the possibility of a legendary Pokemon causing this incident is becoming more likely. However, Arceus couldn't be the legendary Pokemon that actually did. I believe he's being framed, began Apollo. So now you're just claiming he was framed? Exactly how was Arceus framed then? I'll explain it to you if you'll just listen, replied Pain. Apollo said nothing, so Pain simply continued his claim. A legendary Pokemon amongst Arceus' group is more likely. Someone who's close to Arceus. They are the ones who caused this incident and then attempted to frame Arceus for the crime because that legendary Pokemon wants us to think that only Arceus has the power to cause an incident. Hold it! Began Apollo. So basically, you're saying one of Arceus' friends, one of the legendary Pokemon that's in his group, caused this incident instead. Then after realizing what it is, what I don't know why I had such a hard time saying that, but after realizing what it is, what they did, that's a bad sentence, never mind. They made haste and attempted to frame Arceus and make everyone think he caused the incident instead of the legendary Pokemon that's truly responsible. A mole, in other words? You could put it like that. Yes, replied Pain. Then how come Arceus can't be responsible for causing this goddamn incident? Asked Apollo. Pain responded by continuing his claim. However, Arceus is a god, you see. He's a god of all Pokemon. Gods don't cause or involve themselves in incidents. They simply watch over everything and only intervene, began Apollo. So because he's a god, that makes him a being that doesn't involve themselves in anything unless absolutely necessary? That's correct, replied Pain. Apollo didn't say anything else, so Pain continued his claim. Therefore, since Arceus is a god, he couldn't have caused this incident. Claim. Hold it! Began Apollo. This is it, huh? Your logic and reasoning as to how I'm wrong? Pain's smirk returned once again. Of course it is. There are no problems with it whatsoever. Cope, stated Pain. That's what you think. I'll enjoy proving you wrong once again. In fact, there was one statement my bracelet reacted the most to, thought Apollo. Cue Surge's glance from Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. However, Arceus is a god, you see. He's the god of all Pokemon. Gods don't cause or involve themselves in incidents. They simply watch over everything and only intervene when it's absolutely claim Apollo. Pain. Oh, it's going to be all of it. This was part of Pain's claim Apollo was talking about. One part of it stuck out the most to Apollo. when Payne said, "Gods don't cause or involve themselves in incidents." This was confirmed when, while Payne said this, Apollo noticed Payne's habit show itself again. Payne's eyes swirling once again. Apollo pointed it out instantly. "Gotcha!" began Apollo. "Mr. Payne, your habit is acting up again," began Apollo. Payne said nothing, so Apollo continued. "I heard an interesting rumor about you from Naruto. Would you like to know what that rumor is?" asked Apollo. Once again, Payne said nothing, so Apollo spoke up once again. "I heard from Naruto that you, yourself, have been called a god. This actually proves that you were lying about what you were saying, believe it or not. You're a god, yet you have involved yourself in lots of incidents. This proves it's something else too," announced Apollo. Payne, shockingly, now broke into a cold sweat once again. Apollo once again did his finger point and pointed at Payne and his group once again. You cornered variation 2007. From Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. "It proves that you are wrong. In fact, the exact opposite is true. Gods can be corrupted as well. You and Arceus are some of those gods that are corrupted. You'll do whatever you want to do whatever it takes to ensure things go your way, no matter what you had to do or who it ends up involving," declared Apollo. Payne continued to sweat, so Apollo finished it off, so to speak. "That's still not all either. How many times must I explain this to you? How many times must I remind you? Arceus is the only legendary Pokemon with this power to cause an incident like this. The other legendary Pokemon has nearly enough power to cause an incident like this, no matter how hard they try," reminded Apollo. Payne continued to sweat, and then it finally happened. Payne looked down quickly in anger, then quickly looked up. Shouted Payne. As for a moment, anyway, it looked like there were 6 Paynes. Was it finally over? Of course not. The suspense from Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. Payne wasn't saying anything. Apollo then spoke up. "Believe it or not, Mr. Payne, I'm going to admit something to you," announced Apollo. This made Payne recover and become serious again. "Oh, what's that, Mr. Justice?" asked Payne. "I truthfully don't have any definitive evidence that proves Arceus truly is responsible for this incident, you see,"
Oh my fucking
said
god.
Apollo.
Thank you for
Why?
It's the same energy as we have never seen Klonoa, except worse.
Yeah.
At
I'm
least
glad
Neku killed like 5 dudes before he said that. This was just wasting everyone's time.
Oh, but yeah, this is my just so you're the last 2 or 3 chapters were just filler then.
When isn't this story? When isn't this story filler?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, it didn't need to be written, but here we are.
We
Anyway,
will read Foxhunt soon enough, friends. We will have
I am glad to hear that, Mr. Justice, remarked Payne. However, in order to fully understand Arceus and his powers, I'd like to call a witness, if you don't mind. Specifically, a legendary Pokemon from Arceus' group, informed Apollo. "Very well then, who would you like to call as a witness?" asked Payne. Apollo knew what he was doing now. "I'd like to call this legendary Pokemon," began Apollo as he prepared for another inevitable testimony at that point. "Take that!" Apollo then presented Keldio's profile. Keldeo. He is pretty much the only unbiased Pokemon in Arceus' group. Everyone eyed Keldeo now. Keldeo became tense and began shaking. Keldeo was trying to remain invisible, so to speak, and not get involved, but now he was quite visible and would, in fact, be involved. Payne spoke up. "I see no problem with this," remarked Payne. Keldeo wasn't moving, though, so Payne spoke up again and spoke to Keldeo without looking back at him. "Well? What are you waiting for?" asked Payne. "But I don't think I can help, remarked Keldeo. All we need is some information. You have nothing to worry about, assured Apollo. Yes, that's all we need. So please, Keldeo, added Azelf, who was now next to Apollo as Naruto had returned to the rest of the group. Keldeo was being glared at even more by his legendary Pokemon friends, so he stepped forward to the area between Apollo and Pit. I can't believe you're actually doing this, but thank you, remarked Azelf. You thought I wasn't listening? Well, now you know that I was. Besides, what I said was the truth. He really is the most unbiased legendary Pokemon in Arceus' group. In fact, more than likely, he's probably the only unbiased Pokemon in legendary Pokemon in Arceus' group, said Apollo. That's definitely true, commented Azelf. Things were beginning to finally come to a close. Was it over, though? Of course not. In fact, things were still nowhere near over. Yeah, I see that from the fucking 6 chapters that are left.
Yeah.
One thing was for sure, though. Things were about to become even more interesting. The truth was starting to become clearer. To be continued. P.S. It's sort of close to the end of the fanfiction, yet not close to the end at the same time. Either way, the testimony music levels up, so to speak, starting in the next chapter.
Fucking hell.
Garbage?
We did it. We did it. It wasn't as bad as we thought. It wasn't as bad as we thought.
Yeah, that wasn't...
It wasn't...
I mean, to tell you the truth, that last one was kind of fun doing the fucking pain breakdown at the start.
Yeah, that sounded like some fucking, like, schizophrenic, the conspiracy theorist. It was great. Well,
so fucking dumb. It's so funny.
We're almost free from the story. I cannot wait to do the Tales fanfiction. That will be true cringe Kino, I'd say. Like, holy shit.
We'll definitely have to see, because that was...
I'm almost done with this fucking story. We're almost done with this story. These two have been with me like the longest here, so honors to these two. I think that's the video for, yeah, we'll probably like stay, like talk like for 5 minutes or something, because I know you guys have things to do, but, so yeah, that's that. Fuck you, Infinite Anime. You should kill yourself and like maybe replay Ace Attorney and not press every statement.
I want to find Infinite Anime. I want to find him and talk to him. Like, I need to know what this man is now. He's probably changed his online handle. Because, you know, I've googled Infinite Anime and I can't find this motherfucker.
Just wait, try googling Brian Yzerman, see what comes up.
That might be your best ticket.
Plot twist, that's his real name.
I googled Brian Yzerman and I didn't really get anything, but I'll do both. Brian Yzerman, Infinite Anime. I need to find this. Like, I need to know.
Well,
wait.
Like, I doubt you'll find anything. Well, there's that, folks. Have yourself a nice night. It's been fun recording. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.